This is Jolie here for Title Sports Network. We are here in St Helens at an MMA gym with Savannah Marshall. How's things?
I'm good. I'm really good. 3 weeks away from my MMA debut.
It's crazy. I just mentioned to you, I can't believe this is happening. It's extremely surprising. I've seen you here today, obviously training with UFC light heavyweights and heavyweights, getting some big sparring in. So the preparation's going well.
It's going really well. 8-9 months I've been doing this for now. So honestly, it's just flew. Even my debut, I remember when it was 4 months away. I was 3 weeks away. Before you know, it'll be 4 months ago.
Okay, let's get to the question that everyone wants to know. I know you've done interviews and stuff like that since the announcement, but why is this happening?
Just the opportunity. I've undisputed super middleweight in boxing, middleweight champion, and really, apart from the Clarissa fight, there's no more for me to fight. There's no big fights out there. So the PFL approached me, asked if I wanted to have a go in the cage. And it was, look, if they had approached me and said, look, have you ever thought about doing MMA? Would you like to join our league? It would have been no. I don't want to go up against girls who've wrestled all their life, black belt and BJJ. But they come to me and said, have you ever thought about doing MMA? How about fighting Clarissa in the cage? I was like, oh wow, that's a new narrative. Come on, let's do it. So that's the whole reason.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be incredible to see that. Obviously, she's got a bit more experience than you, but you've been training hard for those 8 months. What's the training been like? Do you feel like you're at a good level now? Have you done much boxing alongside this as well?
I'm still boxing once a week with Peter. So he's still doing boxing pads, that sort of thing, sparring boxing. But it's, oh wow, totally, although it's a martial art, you say boxing's part of it, it's savage. Honestly, hats off to anyone who does MMA because it is tough, really tough.
I know you just mentioned there you still do see Peter and he's busy with his own fighters, but you must miss him quite a lot, man.
I do, to be fair, but the training's very different. So even now, I think that I've adapted quite well to the training. It's been hard, very hard. I was just saying there about 8 months ago, I remember coming out of sessions like this and like shaking, like sat in the car like that because it's just so intense and just non-stop. It's a different level of fitness.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I'm looking forward to obviously June the 8th, headlining in Newcastle. You've done that before, no stranger to that. How long until we can see that fight that you've come into MMA for with Clarissa?
I don't know. I think let's just get June the 8th out of the way. You never know. I could get it with a 4-ounce glove and think, God, this isn't for me. Could get kicked in the face, but I think it's about getting June the 8th out of the way and then going from there.
And as you mentioned, 3 weeks away now. It's crazy to think, but being in Newcastle, headlining the card, just that moment, how do you feel like that's going to play out?
It's great for me. Look, I've had a couple of fights headlining at Newcastle. It's amazing. It's. I know there's loads of. I'm the only Geordie on the card. Well, I'm only the only person from the northeast on the card. There's a lot of Manchester kids on, so I feel a bit bad for all their fans travelling. But yeah, look, at least I don't have to go far.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, just a couple of things. Fury Usyk at the weekend. What did you make of that fight? How did you score it?
It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And do you know what? I know it's all builds up. You've got to build a fight, but just all the name calling. Sometimes it was a bit toe in the line with Tyson. So I was really glad to see Usyk come through. I actually thought Tyson had him a couple of times. I had an accumulator on. I only needed Tyson to knock him out for some money. But no, I thought it was close, and I hope we get the rematch.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like it could be AJ and Fury. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but as for Usyk, do you feel like he's pound for pound number one now?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Unifying the cruiserweight division and now the heavyweights. Even, do you know what? He doesn't even speak English. Like, I remember when I boxed on a card when he boxed Chisora, and he could barely speak English then. And from his personality to shine through when it's not your language and all, what you're not really speaking, you're just saying I am feel, and everyone just loves it. I think he's a great man, and I think obviously he trains really hard and he deserves it.
Yeah, 100%. It's good for the sport of boxing as well. To get the Saudis involved, just quickly on that, obviously, 2 years ago, boxing was in a place where people were unsure whether the big fights are ever going to happen, etc., etc. But now it seems like it's in a good spot.
Oh, 100%. And I think the Saudis are doing brilliant. I think that the Saudis actually own the PFL. Well, they've got a share in the PFL, so the only thing I'd like to see some women get an opportunity in Saudi.
What was that, sorry?
I'd like to see some women get an opportunity in Saudi. I feel like female boxing was absolutely flying. The Saudis come in. I think that's kind of everything's on that at the minute. So I would like for them to put some big female fights on.
Really appreciate your time. Just one more thing on boxing. Do we expect to see you back in the ring at all? Obviously, the money's going to be great over in the PFL with the Saudis backing it, etc., etc. But you plan on coming back to boxing?
Do you know what? I was supposed to actually box in March. It fell through, never happened. Thankfully, the PFL were there to say, well, look, how about having your debut? Because although it's MMA, I'm still active. Do you know what I mean? So who would have known? I would have still been sat on the couch waiting to get back in the ring. Hopefully I'd love to have a fight before the end of the year in the boxing ring. But like I said, I just want to get June the 8th out of the way.
Really appreciate your time, Savannah. It's good to speak to you on Title Sports Network.